It is Kojin here, and today I actually have a really cool video for you guys, just talking about a little bit of future updates before stuff that comes to America. Today we're going to be talking about the rebalance that had recently happened on 828 and KLT. What happened during this update was that a lot of classes that were a little bit of lower class have gotten some buffs, and on top of that there were some adjustments to top player classes, or like top popularity classes, so that way that it can adjust into the meta going forward. So today we're going to be talking a little bit about it. A few days ago I actually posted something on my channel. I asked pretty much for anybody who's seen the KLT updates recently, have they seen anything about Hero, and if Hero is in trouble. The reason why I'm asking this is simply because a lot of KLT players were not too happy about what's happened to Hero during this recent update. So today we're going to talk a little bit about it. I actually had went and put the source links in the comment section of that video, so if you're looking for exactly what you're looking for, it'll be down in the description below. But here we're going to go ahead and we're going to pull up the notes now. Okay, so here are the notes. Pretty much, for the long story short, Two-Handed Hero ended up getting a lot of really big adjustments. The biggest being that, long story short, TLDR, for those who are really just looking for a consensus, that Hero lost probably about 80% of its majority wave spam, which for those of you guys who don't know what the wave spam is, Hero had 3 skills that all had a wave that was attached to it simultaneously that you would use while you're fighting, and pretty much this wave would make up like anywhere between 60 to 80% of your DPS while you're fighting as a Two-Handed Hero. It looks like they have totally revamped and changed that system. No longer does Hero actually do the wave spam anymore, but a lot of things have changed about the class. So let's go ahead and let's just break down what happened with Two-Handed first, and then we'll get into Spear in a little bit. So let's go ahead and let's take a look here. So for Two-Handed, the damage ascension skill has been changed, damage has been increased. So pretty much with the ascension skill, that's the big legend skill here, the one that's like this. So this skill pretty much ended up getting like damage boosts with just about every single class. So that's just something to kind of keep in mind there. So the damage has been increased with awakening ascension skills. The attack range has been increased. Shield effect has been changed from 10% of the max HP per level to base 50% plus 10% per level. So for those of you guys who aren't really doing math, some of these skills specifically are only plus 10 and some of them are only plus 5 in skill level. So if you do the math, some of these skills will only have 100% shield, some of them will have 150. So it's a bit different pretty much from what it was before. The third movement has been changed to a forward backward strike. The effect of the reduced damage taken from enemies has been removed, and the generating black magic effect has been removed. Next up we have Chester. Chester has been buffed pretty much. It's got an AP consumption change from 150 to 50, so it takes less AP, but also Chester in itself was added to the awakening skills, and when using these consecutively for 1 second, AP consumption gradually increases, but the longer that you maintain the combo, the more damage you will inflict. So pretty much every time that you spam Chester, it will do more damage 5 times. So it'll mention that here, that the additional damage occurs 5 times when hitting, and not only that, but there's a cap of only using Chester 5 times in a row, and then afterwards you'll get reset with a manual cooldown. Also, damage received by enemies is reduced by 20% depending on which slot you pick. Most people are probably going to go with slot 205 because that's what gives you the damage on Chester, but anyways, continue. 1,000 waves have been changed, damage has been increased, cooldown has been changed from 12 seconds to 9 seconds, so now you can actually use this a ton. 1,000 waves actually is the skill that Hero has. The awakening heavenly wave skill has been changed, the effects have been changed, the character's height increase has been slightly increased, the attack range has been increased, and the number of hits have increased by 4. So heavenly wave in itself has totally been changed. It no longer has the wave spam effect, and not only that, but it's now a 3-part skill if I'm remembering correctly. The reinforcement of 1,000 waves war has been changed. The binding duration has been changed from 2.5 seconds to 2 seconds, so it was a slight nerf on the bind for that. Next up we've got the whirlwind slash, which was changed from 15 seconds to 12 seconds, and the whirlwind slash skill in itself was also changed as well. More on the awakening whirlwind slash skill. The awakening slots have been changed from 205 to 206 to 233, so pretty much it used to be a 2 rune skill, now it is a 1 rune skill, and it was moved to the top right if I'm remembering correctly. The number of hits has been increased by 1, applied with 2 consecutive hits and the effect of a generating sword. The time for 2 consecutive uses have been changed from 1.5 seconds to 3 seconds, so now pretty much within the 2-part skill you can have a 3-second window in between using the skills. It's starting to become a little bit more common with classes like that, and I'm glad that it is. Summon location on the sword spirit has been slightly moved forward, and the movement speed of the sword has been increased. So there's a bunch of different changes essentially. Just breaking down, long story short, I'm just going to go ahead and just show you guys a bit more of what's going on here. Meteor Wave has been excluded from the awakening skills. The existing awakening effect has been applied to the general effect, so pretty much they removed it from the awakening, but it still has the awakening effect. It was totally changed on the base build, and no longer will you need to have it awakened for you to be able to use the full-fledged Meteor Wave. The cooldown has been changed from 11 to 12 seconds, and the additional explosions have been removed. The additional explosions being removed from the skill is somewhat of a nerf, simply because a lot of people don't use this in general, but still, I think overall people are actually still using Meteor Wave regardless of the nerf. The additional bombardment effect has been changed to an effect that allows Meteor Wave to be used twice. So now you can use Meteor Wave twice, it looks like. Solar Eclipse has been changed. The damage has been increased. The cooldown has been changed from 9 to 8 seconds, and the target has been increased by 1. The Awakening Solar Eclipse has been changed. The time in which the combos have been connected is slightly increased, and the number of targets has been increased by 1. Forward movement value during skill has been deleted, and the effect Summoning Sword has been removed. 281 slots, changed from 3 actions. So pretty much this one was also changed to a 3-action skill. The damage was increased, and not only that, but it is a 2-rune skill, so now you will have 2 different effects that you get to choose from. So with slot 281, you get the damage increase changed to 3 actions and a 20% KVR. On the second slot, it's also changed to 3 actions, but this one has a lifesteal effect attached to it as well, with the KVR as well. So most people will probably go with the damage increase rather than adding the lifesteal effect probably to this one. It really is dependent upon what's going on. So after reading all of that, let's go ahead and let's check out a little bit of the gameplay that was presented. So pretty much here we're going to be able to see a little bit about what's going on. As you can see, guys, there's one skill that has the waves, but as you can see, the uppercut no longer has waves. The forward slash does still have waves, but it also looks like the other forward slash does not any longer have any waves. So a lot of what's going on here has totally adjusted the way that hero has been played. As you can see here, it's not as long range as it used to be. It has a lot more raw damage potential comparatively than what it used to have in the past. Not only that, but you're not going to be able to pull off as many cool and fun tricks because you're not fighting from a distance anymore. You have to pretty much fight up close and personal now with just about every mob pack. So that's pretty much all that we're going to be getting from this here. Next, it had some pretty interesting adjustments as well. And we're going to go ahead and just kind of slowly break those down as well. Skill has been changed, excluded from awakening skills. Existing effect was changed to a general effect. So pretty much they took everything about the whirlwind skill that was awakened and they pretty much readjusted it here. So this skill in itself, oh excuse me, not that one, but this skill is the whirlwind skill. So pretty much they removed this from the general move pool pretty much. So now that the skill is no longer awakened, damage was increased, acquisition level limit was changed to 1, whirlwind skill has been changed, the time required for 2 consecutive uses has been changed from 0.15 seconds to 0.12 seconds. So now there's a bigger window in between using the skill. Buster Lance has been changed. So now Buster Lance actually comes onto the awakening list here, and the amount of hits is increased by 14. It has some additional KVR, and it ignores knockback while being used. So it has a super armor on it. Not the safest in the world, but we'll get to exactly what it looks like as well. Skill effects has been changed due to the fact that it's now an awakening skill. Hurricane Lance has been changed. Damage has been increased. Number of hits have been reduced by 4, but the number of targets has been increased by 2. Cooldown has been changed from 7.5 to 8.5 seconds, so slight adjustment there. Awakening Hurricane has been changed as well, added to the awakening list, so it's now on the awakening slot at slot 205 and 206. The number of hits have been increased by 8, and it also gets KVR. Effects also get changed a lot there. And then in the 206 slot, you get KVR reduction, and it has a shield effect, all for the adjustment of pretty much getting the 2 hits there. Next up, we've got Power Spike. We've got damage increase there. We've got stun effect. The change now occurs on all hits of the Power Spike, which is actually really good. Stun duration was changed from 2.5 seconds to 2 seconds, and the cooldown was nerfed. So now instead of it being every 9 seconds, you get to use your electric skill or your stun skill. Your opener can now only use it every 12 seconds. So that's going to be a really big adjustment for most people, because that's the biggest thing about Spear, is the fact that you can pretty much spam your stun with a pretty big AoE. And with that being adjusted, it's going to make it a little bit different to play now. Next up, we've got the Awakening Power Spike skill has been changed. The forward movement value during the skill has been deleted. An effect that ignores knockback has been added. Lightning Lance skill has been changed so now that you can use it while you're jumping. So this is a big deal for those of you guys who are Lightning Lance users. Pretty much now you can use this skill in the air. For all you guys who know, this was a grounded skill before, so this is a big deal. The propulsion skill has been changed, excluded from all awakening skills. The existing 205 effect has been applied to the general effect, so pretty much this also was taken off. This skill is the 5th dance. The existing 205 effect has been changed to a general effect. Cooldown has been changed from 7.5 seconds to 9 seconds. So again, you're starting to see a lot of these adjustments going upwards for Spear Hero here. There's a lot of cooldown changes. Some hits have been taken away from skills to be added to other skills, while you're seeing some skills totally being taken away from the awakening tree, but still holding their awakening effects, but they're also adding in new skills as well. So this is just an interesting adjustment going upward. Okay, so next up, it has some more shield added to it. Damage reduction that was taken from the enemies has been removed, so it no longer has a knockback reduction on it, and the number of hits was decreased by 1. So there was some pretty big adjustments here to that specific skill. They're adjusting a lot of it down. The shield effect is pretty much going to be playing a little bit more of a role in the propulsion skill. Just keep that in mind there. The skill of Dragon Wind has been changed, so the Dragon Wind is pretty much your circular spam skill here. So this skill was adjusted. The skill of Dragon Wind has been changed. The damage has been increased on that skill, and the jump height of the second and third movements have been changed to be the same as the first movement. Continuous use has been changed from 0.6 seconds to 2 seconds, so now there's a bigger window in between. That's overall just a huge deal for those of you guys who are Spear Hero players. Heavy Lance has been changed. The targets have been increased by 2. Heavy Lance in itself has been adjusted, and the Spear Strengthening skill also has been removed. Spear adjustments in themselves are probably a little bit less nuanced compared to the two-handed skills, but overall, there's just a lot of adjustments that will go on in general while playing these classes. I think in general with two-handed, a lot of people are going to be upset because a lot of people use two-handed to EXP farm and things of that nature. The fact that you had the infinite move speed that made it super fast, and the fact that it also dealt with mid-game very well. I feel like those are going to be 3 really big points that are going to change over time, and that's why I feel like most people are going to be more upset about the two-handed changes compared to the spear changes, because the spear changes, yes, some of them suck, but at the end of the day, they've also been some other huge adjustments that make it not so bad of an adjustment pretty much. So we're going to go ahead and look into the spear here. Let's go ahead and let's pull up. So this is what spear plays like now. Shouts out to the owners of these videos. So like I said, the spear adjustment in itself really isn't as bad as the other adjustments. Just want to give a little bit of my thoughts on this whole thing. Overall, I do think that this is probably going to be a negative consensus for most people in NA, simply because, like I said earlier, most people use two-handed hero for EXP farming and for dealing with mid-game a lot, with a lot of the mid-game things that we have going on in our meta. But at this current moment in time, I definitely do think that it will be a total game changer. There won't be as many heroes definitely around. A lot of people might not like the changes. Some people might think it's too slow. Some people might not be able to adjust so well to it. Some people might just overall not like it. But in my humble opinion though, I do think that 100% certainly that two-handed hero should have been like this from the get-go. This in itself as a rebalance change for two-handed, I feel like overall is just the best thing that could possibly happen for the class. This way it gives it more damage potential, and not only that, it will make it a lot easier for people who are coming into the class itself. As far as a dungeon performer, if we're really talking about this, I think that it probably is doing a little bit better than what it was at the late game point. But in general, like, I think overall two-handed hero will probably be not necessarily a whole net positive. But as far as spear goes, spear I think will still be a lot easier to get into. A lot of people are going to be using this a lot more, and I think that with the Dragon Wind attack being buffed, that it definitely will add a whole nother layer to what exactly we're seeing as far as those specific moments in our gameplay and just in general. So thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying the content. I stream a lot on Twitch, so follow me over there on Twitch. I stream just about daily almost now. I'll hop on for anywhere from like 3 to 5 hours and just hop on chat or just, you know, do some meta stuff in general. Comments on YouTube. Thank you guys for being such a blast. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe. Thank you again, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.